Hello. Welcome back to TSC Talks, the Source Cannabinoids. My name is Joe Woodworth, and I am your host. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My guest on the podcast is Patrick Spencer. He is a podcaster for a podcast called the Open Podcast 2020 from London, England. He popped up on my Instagram feed, had a few questions about podcasting, kind of wanted to know what it was, what I was doing, and was I talking to people about cannabis on my podcast, which yes, I am. However, we did not talk about cannabis. The end shot of that is we ended up scheduling a chat and then recording a podcast, and that's what you're going to be listening to. So I appreciate Patrick and his enthusiasm for life and for podcasting and his honesty. He shared with me, his motivations for getting into it, wanting to help people that are struggling, having been through some rough times himself, wanting, in my understanding, help people feel less alone. He shared how he was very opinionated and how this has helped him broaden his opinions and open his mind in lots of ways. And I can totally relate. I think when you're doing this and you engage in an interview or you investigate somebody, not that we investigate, but do the research required to get to know somebody, what makes them tick, and you see the beliefs or the experiences and the circumstances that shape their viewpoints and opinions. Sometimes it's hard to look away, and you end up really kind of broadening yourself and trying to integrate a new understanding of a particular issue into your reality. And that's kind of what he was talking about. That's what I try to do. Definitely a very opinionated person, but I try to soften that by talking to people with different opinions, some of the same. Anyways, we didn't talk about cannabis. No, we did not, but we will the next time we chat. And he does share about his challenges with addiction. I thought it was really raw and honest from the heart. And his relationships and trying to get out on his own, having built up some debt, and just the realities of growing up. And I don't mean growing up because he's grown up, but to me he's just a kid and starting out. And really, I don't know, I think the future's bright for Patrick. And I love his format, so I'm going to stop talking about him. I do have a few things to mention. Our next podcast series, we're trying to get more organized and have somewhat of an editorial calendar so we can promote and plan ahead for a series of podcasts throughout the year with themes. And one coming up is the green nurses. I've talked to a lot of green nurses. We thought it'd be a great idea to pull some snippets of these podcasts together, as well as interview some other green nurses, and we will have that as one of our upcoming content threads. So you can look forward to that. You can check out our new website, thesourcecannabinoids.com, which kind of pulls all the work that we're doing together into one place with the podcast and our forest bathing products that are created by Mike Robinson, our partner, co-owner of TSC Talks LLC. Fabulous CBD, CBG, terpene blend that is next level. You might want to check that out. So that's going on, the Source Cannabinoids and the Green Nurses coming up. And I think that's all I have to say. I'm going to say, take it away, Patrick.
Pat Spencer, welcome to TSC Talks.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. I met you on Instagram, and you said you were kind of a new podcaster, and we chatted a little, and I thought it might be fun to do a podcast with the younger generation on a topic, just nothing related to what I generally do, but that's cool. So tell me a little bit about yourself, your early years, just give me a little history. Tell me your story.
So I am 21 from South London. I work Kent, South London sort of way. Early years, there's not much to me really. I play football. I listen to a lot of music. I'm pretty much a normal 21-year-old. Do you know what I mean? But it's I wanted to be able to change the world in some sort of way, or make someone's life better. Start doing this, and that's at the moment. There's not much to me, to be honest.
I guess what experiences can you think of in your life that made you feel like you wanted to kind of help people or change the world? Are there any thing that stands out, or is that just the way you are? Because there doesn't need to be.
No, I mean, at first, I mean, I've never really had I've always had a very sort of closed mindset, a very narrow mind, and it's always sort of kept me in the dark with a lot of things, and I've never really opened myself up to like looking at the world's problems and stuff like that. And recently, I've been through a little bit of personal stuff, and it sort of opened my mind up a little bit more to sort of seeing the bigger issues, and obviously with the Black Lives Matter movement that's happened as well, and it's just sort of opened my mind to a lot of other stuff as well. And yeah, it's sort of what I was going through had me. I was feeling terrible. I was feeling really down, and I thought, you know what? I know there's so many other people in the world who feel like this and feel worse than this, and if there's something I can do to help one of them, maybe, then that'd be really good, even if I don't know about it. So that's what it was. It wasn't anything specific. It was just a sort of a whole collection of things that put me in this position. No,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. I felt that when you said that. That's nice. Yeah, you felt like just the tumultuous craziness going on with COVID, and then Black Lives Matter. I think there's just a lot of like shifting
in the universe.
Times. Yeah, the universe for sure. So have you lived in where you live now your whole life?
I've never ever. I don't know where else I'd go. I do want to move.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, you're young.
It's not as easy as that over here to move though. It's very expensive. I think where I live, the average house price is like $500,000 nearly.
Yeah. I hear you.
You have to have a 10% deposit, so it's a lot of money to save up, and the average wage is not that much. It's like 24-25 grand, so it's not as easy as just moving out. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to have good credit, and my credit's not very good, so it's all a bit of a task. I want to move.
So it's really expensive too. It's kind of like that here. You know, I will say personally, I was in a relationship and kind of doing the traditional thing with the house and the kids, and ended up getting a divorce and, you know, kind of moving out on my own with my kids. And I will never own a house again. It's just like way too hard to get that much money. And so I shouldn't say never, but I can relate. It's like, for me, it was like, oh my gosh, you know, now I see what kids, you know, young people go through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not massively bothered about owning a house. I never really have been, because I over here, as I say, it's really expensive. But where I want to move to, from what I've heard, the house prices aren't, they're still expensive, but they're not as much. But the average wages are a lot more, so it's a lot easier to move out there. And over here, there's not enough houses for the people, and it's very compact and built up. And where I want to go to is very open. There's a lot of space. I want to go to the Gold Coast in Australia, so there's a lot of space, a lot of houses that people don't live in. It's just so much here. There's like 4 jobs per person, whereas here there's 500 people per job.
Wow. So that's cool.
It's just a lot easier to get around out there. I went for a job the other day. They said they whittled it down from 500 people to be 4. A lot of people apply for it. 400 or 500 people apply for it. Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot. Yep. So what is your line? What do you do for a living?
I am a lift engineer, or an elevator engineer, as you'd probably say in America, I think. I rip out old lifts and install new lifts or elevators.
So that's like a heavy, that's an intense, like, physical job.
It can be, yeah. Sometimes it's not so bad. It depends what sort of day you've got and what sort of lift you're installing and this, that and the other. Some of them are very, very easy, and some of them, we've just been taken over by Hitachi, and you'd have thought, being Japanese and stuff, they'd be very with the times, but a lot of their stuff's very old-fashioned, very heavy, it's not the best. But we do package lifts from Spain and stuff, and they're pretty light. Some of their stuff's 100 kg, so it's not too bad. But some of the stuff we do, we have to rip out old lifts that could have been there 30, 40, 50 years, and some of them are heavy, like still cast iron, and yes, it depends. It depends what you're doing on the job, but most of the time it's heavy, yeah.
Yeah. That's nothing. I know nothing about it.
I can't lie. I don't know much about it. I'd like to say I'm all right here, but
that's okay. Yeah, I don't really have a backup career other than doing this kind of thing and some advocacy work. So, yeah, I don't have much to talk about relatable there. Tell me, what is the climate like? How's it been for the COVID, and how's it been over there? And how are you youth dealing with it?
the climate, as in what the weather's been all right. It's actually been quite nice since we've been in. It seemed to be, the minute we got told we were in lockdown, it went from 10 degrees and rain into like 30 degrees and bursting sunshine all the time. And it's been lovely. Like today is lovely. I'm sitting by the window today and it's absolutely lovely. But yeah, generally it's been quite all right. The summers are not too bad here, but obviously it's the UK, so you're due to get rain at some point or another. So we've had thunderstorms and stuff where it's been so sunny. But yeah, generally it's been all right. And the actual COVID, all the lockdown rules are starting to ease up now. The pubs open up tomorrow and stuff like that. And I can go drinking. I'm 21. So if I want to, I will, but I don't really drink, so it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, I mean, it's not been so bad. My dad had it, so
he did.
To stay inside and stuff. Yeah, he's had it. Yeah, I don't know how we all got away with it. Yeah, he didn't even know he had it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
He didn't know, and he got the test done. It was someone at his workplace. Sorry, someone at his workplace had it, and she got the test done, and then came in while she was waiting for the results and gave it to everyone else.
Oh, that's super nice.
Yeah, lovely.
Kind of unavoidable in some ways.
Well, you're not meant to be in if you just had the test done. You're meant to wait for the results, and she carried on coming in. So,
yeah,
what can you do, eh?
What can you do? Yeah, it didn't really affect me a whole lot just because I work from home and I don't go out that much. So it's like, yeah, that's great. We're told to stay home. Oh well.
Thing is, it's when you get told to stay home is when you want to go out more, isn't it? I suppose you want to break the rules. True.
Yep. Yeah, I don't like being told, having to wear a mask. I don't like being told what to do. I'll do it because
I understand it though, for the safety of.
Yeah. Just, there seems like they don't know a lot. They don't know all the details, so better safe.
Yeah, I think our death toll was only recently still in the triple figures. Do you know what I mean? It's only just sort of dropped down from sort of hundreds to it's been pretty. I think we had something like 40,000 deaths.
Okay.
And we've got 66 million people or something. We have 40,000 deaths, which is quite a big percentage, really.
Yeah, it's scary. So. Yeah,
I'm not going to talk about our government who didn't really do the rules properly because I don't want to incriminate myself. I say I like our government, but they didn't do a very good job.
Yeah, no one was prepared.
No, well, this is the thing. No, it's never happened before, is it? No one knows what's going on. It's never going to happen again in our lifetime, I wouldn't have thought. So it's new to everyone, isn't it? Even the governments and everyone else. So it's not something they know what to do about. So they've done the best they can with what they knew and what they could do, I suppose.
Yeah, I try to think that. Try not to listen to too many conspiracy theories. So I do. I love conspiracies.
Like a conspiracy, though. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'll get into it and I'll start reading about it. And then I'm the type of person that, like, I get into it and then I feel like I need to tell everybody else,
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is, when you enjoy something, you tend to talk about it a lot more, don't you, I suppose? So I sort of find something I like and then I just go on and on and on and on until I bore myself with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of obsessive like that. Yep.
That's the word. Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess tell me a little bit about your podcast. Who have you had on? I mean, how's that going?
So the podcast, so far I've had I had a professional scooter rider.
Yep, I saw that one.
So basically I knew him. Well, we've got a lot of mutual friends. He lives around the corner from me, but I've never actually met him. I had him on I think it was Facebook, and I was just scrolling through because I don't really use Facebook. I just use Messenger to talk to a few people here and there. And I was trying to find someone, and I thought, oh, Dan, he's got 4,000 Instagram followers. He's a professional scooter rider. I asked him, he agreed, because I used to skate.
Did you?
And ride my BMX and stuff. So that sort of interested me already. Uh-huh. Yeah, when I was younger. I still do a little bit, but not anywhere near as much. So his story obviously interested me because he sort of has the same background as me in that sense. Uh-huh. And obviously if you listen to it, you know that he did all his ACL and his MCL and stuff in a big accident, which obviously he then spoke about all his mental health and stuff. So I thought that would be really good to talk about. That's why I wanted to talk about it first, talking about how he felt and the NHS and stuff like that. And
yeah, what was I going to say about that? Yeah, I think that I noticed you have a good natural style with people and making that connection with where they have, like, what I like to do is try to find that point that they get to where something really major happens that changes them, and how they got through it, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's strange for me because obviously I did work in an office for a little while, but being an engineer, and I've worked on site, like I'm qualified in air conditioning, so I've got an MVQ. So it's very strange. It's a strange transition for me to do something like this and be talking to people all the time. From going from that to this, it's very strange to realise that I've got a natural sort of knack, because I've been writing songs and stuff as well. Like I never knew I had a creative side. And I've been writing songs. I've actually had people that I know writing riffs for me to write songs too and stuff like that. So I've got a song that me and my mate are recording in a couple of days. We're
Really?
going to release it. So yeah, like, I've been singing them and stuff. They sound all right. They don't sound too bad. I've got the programs on my computer, but I never knew that I could do that sort of thing. And it doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, you're going to have to sing one.
I'm not going to do it on here. I'll send you the link to it when it's done.
Okay. That's awesome.
I have got it done though.
That's cool. Like the more you talk to someone, the more you realize, what they're about. Like, I didn't know that.
That's what I do. To be fair, I didn't know I could do it until about a week and a half ago. But I've written 2 or 3 songs since then, and they all sound all right.
That's cool.
It is cool. It's really interesting, obviously, because as I say, I didn't know that I didn't know that I had like a really creative side.
I love it that you're exploring that.
Come out at. Yeah, it's sort of because I've picked up my guitar again now for the first time in 8 years, and I'm learning to play that again. So it's finding stuff that I've not really done in a while and stuff that I like to do, and I was passionate about at one point that sort of made me feel better about myself in a sense. Even though I can't do what I really love, and that's play football because I'm too old now, or soccer. But
soccer, football.
Yeah, I love. Yeah.
My brother was. He went to college, scholarship, football.
I nearly did in America. I nearly had a scholarship out there, but I wanted to go. Yeah, my cousin's debating it now. She plays for Brentford, a professional team over here, but she's no one wants to go out to America at the moment. No one wants to move out there, so it's a bit of a hard one.
Yeah. See now, I've learned all these things about you.
Yeah, so I did. But I played it. So I played at quite a high level over here. So it was. Oh, you cut off there.
That's hard to not be able to do it at that level when you can't. I don't know. I
still watch the football. Like,
you still watch it? Follow it?
Yeah, I'm a Newcastle fan. Newcastle are 300 miles away.
Newcastle, okay. I know nothing about the teams or anything.
Don't worry. There's not much to know about them. They're about to be taken over by a Saudi prince his family are worth 1.4 trillion pounds altogether, GBP.
Really? Huh.
1.4 trillion.
Oh, all the teams are going to be taken over?
No, just Newcastle.
Just Newcastle. Oh, wow. Does that make it better?
A lot better. A lot better. I'm very. He's a bit tight on the old purse strings and stuff, and he sees our club as a business. He runs a cheap outlet sports shop over here, and he's a bit of a dick. I don't know if I can swear, so I'm going to say dick. He's a bit of a dick, and he doesn't treat his workers right. He had them all on 0-hour contracts over the COVID lockdown and stuff like that. He pays a minimum, like below minimum wage, and he's not a very nice bloke. And he's been there 12 years, and he doesn't buy us any players, and we all want him out. And this geezer comes along, and he says, "Look, I'm going to buy these for 350 million, and we're going to spend 200 million pound a transfer window." And no one can wait. I'm really excited about it, and so are my mates, the Newcastle fans from up north.
That's cool then.
Really cool.
Very
I wish
cool.
I had that money.
Right? Yeah, it would change a lot. It's not much money in podcasting.
I've got 46p at the moment, and I've just been paid. I got paid last week Friday. It's now the next week Friday, and I've spent like $1,500 just on paying my bills and stuff. And I'm not even living it.
Oh man. So relationships.
Same with my mate.
How do you do with relationships? Do we need to go down that road?
Well. Is it hot in here or is it just me?
We don't have to talk about that.
No, I don't mind. I had a girlfriend long term till recently. We broke up in, what's the 4th month of the year? April. We broke up in April. She lives like 30 miles away from here. She's going to do dancing. She's a dancer. She's going to do dancing in foreign countries and stuff. So it was always going to be a bit hard for us to stay together, I think. Yeah, I think she just wanted some space on her own and that. But I understand it. Do you know what I mean? I've taken it on the chin and I'm doing all right. I don't feel too. It happened before. I had my first long-term girlfriend and we broke up, and I thought my world was going to end. I didn't know what to do with myself. That's when I messed my life up basically. But started taking all these drugs and getting into all this debt, and I'm still paying for it now, but it's a lot better now, and I sort of know how to deal with myself a lot better now. So it's all right. I haven't spoken to her, I haven't seen her. I'm just trying not to think about her, but we're doing all right. I've got all my friends and stuff, my family, if I need them.
That's good. Yeah, I think that if you have those experiences early on in life, it's better. I will say that I had a really weird not weird upbringing, but conservative and not a lot of, I was like afraid of men, afraid of boys for a long time. So, I married the first one I dated. My first marriage was like, I married way too young. And so all that to say, you're smart, you just, it's good. It's good to go through it's painful as fuck, but
yeah, it's hard. Does that?
Yeah.
It can. If you don't have the right people around you as well, it can really mess you up. I started taking a lot of I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about the drugs and stuff. Like the proper.
No, you can on this podcast.
Cool. Well, I started taking a lot of coke and stuff, and it started really me up, and I got probably 10-12 grand in debt to like dealers and to loan companies. I had to take loans up to pay dealers and stuff. And my nose I've got a big hole in the middle of my nose and stuff, and it's all very. I can fit a finger through my nose and stuff like that. Now it's really bad, so I've been pretty careful. But that sort of thing I know can you up. I had to tell my parents in the end. I was living with them. They paid a lot of my stuff off, so I owe them a lot. But they really helped me out, and it's all sorted now pretty much. I'm not really doing it. I do it every so often, but I know how to handle it now. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot better now. We're all doing all right.
Yeah, I went through a serious addiction problem. Lots of stuff, lots of drugs. So no judgment here. Yeah, it is hard. It's hard when you get into that hole where you feel kind of like you can't get out. Glad to hear that you're not
I've been
there.
Yeah. No, as I say, I still like to do it, but it's more of an occasional, every once in a blue moon sort of thing now. It's not every day. I was doing it before work some days and get home from work and pick it up during my lunch break. I was picking up at like 7, 8 in the morning before just taking it to work. I got pulled over once driving through a town near me, driving to work. I had a packet of coke in the van. And I was on my phone while I was driving. Which is stupid anyway. I would never do that again. And they pulled me over and said that if you're going to go on your phone, you could lose your license, you could lose your job. I said, mate, yeah, I could, and I'd be f***ed. And they said, right, well, we'll let you off this time. And luckily, they didn't see it in the van because it was just sat in the door. But I got away with all of it, like on my phone and with a packet of coke in the van. So sort of learnt my lesson a bit there. It was a bit scary.
Yeah, I've had some of those close calls too, where like I look back, I'm like, thank goodness. But it makes me realize how it's just so, the people that get picked up and are in jail or whatever, there's not that much difference between myself and them. A little bit of luck in terms of like something like that.
That's what I'm saying. There's people that go to the pub, drink 2 beers, and that could be one of us. That could be anyone. They're not criminals. Do you know what I mean? They're not deciding to go out and be criminals. They're just normal people.
Yep. Exactly.
Just had a beer or 2 over, and that could be anyone, I suppose. Not for me, I don't drink anymore, but that could be anyone.
Yeah, that's good to hear. You don't drink.
No, I stopped.
I'm not a fan.
I did drink a lot.
I used to too. The hangover.
I spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, me too.
To be fair, I wasn't really prone to hangovers, but I was prone to spending like $2 grand a month in the pub.
Wow.
I was there pretty much every night. There was a pub up the road from my house. We just went in there every single day for the World Cup, for the Euros, for Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. We'd be in there, and we was all 15, 16 spending. We were paying their rent week on week on week for about 4 years. We were spending $1 grand per 5, 6 people per week.
Wow.
Yeah, we were paying a lot in there.
Well, it's kind of a cultural thing too, isn't that? Like kind of a social hangout club.
Well, in the UK, yeah.
Yeah, it's different here.
Yeah, people do like the pub.
Yeah, I think here it's a little different, but I did have some when I was around your age. Yeah, probably that I would do the same thing, going to the bar every night, lots of money,
Can get bad.
Credit cards, all that stuff.
God, don't! I've had credit cards. My mum found mine; she was not happy.
I bet. Yeah, I had a big problem with that. So I hear you.
Luckily, I only had mine to 150 quid.
What is that in US dollars?
Or it's 190, 200, I suppose, about.
1,000?
No, 100. I didn't trust myself with 1,000 because I still be paying it off now. I had about 10 grand worth of payday loans out, so I had to pay them off as well. And then I had a credit card on top of it, and it was a bit much. So I whittled the card limit back down to a couple of hundred, and it sorted me out for a little while.
That's good.
I paid for a tattoo with it, which was a bit stupid, but...
You paid for what?
I had a tattoo done with it, with the money on it, which is a bit silly, because it was only meant to be for like my petrol and my food shopping and stuff, but it was trying to build my credit score back up. My credit score is like 16 out of 1,000. It's really, really bad. I'm lucky to get a phone contract at the moment.
Yeah, mine went through after my divorce. I mean, it's good, but it took a long time to build it back up.
Yeah. It does. It's going to take me probably 10 years to build mine back up before I can even look at getting a place.
That's okay. Yeah, I think, I love what you're telling me. You've been through some rough times, but you kind of learn from them. Knock on wood.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm much happier now. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. What pulled you out of the addiction? Because, I mean, not everybody can just stop like that and casually use.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. Like my ex, like we both did it together at some points, but she paid. I had a tick one month that she paid off for me, like a strap. I don't know what you call it in America, if it's the same. Like you get buy now, pay later sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So he'd do it all month, and then I'd pay him at the end of the month, and it was like £2,000. Oh no, it was £1,000, and I didn't have any money. So she lent me £1,000, and I thought, do you know what? This is not right. I can't keep doing this. I owe her £1,000 now. My girlfriend, I owe her £1,000. She's given me a student loan to pay off a drug dealer. That's f***ed up. I shouldn't have to do that, and it's not fair. And it took me a year to pay her back, and it just sort of. I just thought, you know what? I don't want to live month to month wondering if there's going to be drug dealers at my door, wondering if there's going to be bailiffs at my door, trying to threaten my parents, and it's not fair on them, and it's not fair on me, and it's causing me. It's going to shorten my life at the end of the day. It's going to stress me out so much. It's going to probably peg me off 10 years earlier, and I can't keep stressing myself out this much, and it's not fair. It's not right on my family and stuff. So I just figured you don't need it to be happy. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make you happy. It made me feel like I wasn't getting any sleep. It was my fucking health was getting bad. And even my nose, I'd sleep sometimes and my nose would fucking bend, and it's going to snap soon. It's going to, things like that. And it's just not very nice. And it just wasn't worth the money and the time and the people that I was hanging around with and the people that put me into contact with and stuff like that were the wrong sort of people that I was hanging around with. And it wasn't a good time. But since then, I've obviously sorted it out. I'm hanging around with people that have got aspirations, that have got ambitions, that are doing things, that are qualified in things, that are going on to do bigger things. And
good for you. Yeah, that's good turnaround. Yeah, I like it that you were able to logically pull yourself out. Tell me about your guests. What do you like? What's your process with your podcast?
Cool. Right. Well, the podcast guests, it was all a bit strange because I asked one of them, or a couple of them, I followed them on Instagram, obviously, because they're rappers that I like. And I just said to them, look, is there any way that you can, I'd like just to help me out. I want to get a couple of signed photos and stuff from my bedroom and my house to replace pictures of my ex with. And they both said, yeah. And I said, one of them sent something and one of them didn't. I said, look, can you just follow me? That would make me feel better if you follow me and we can interact and stuff. And they did. And I just messaged them both. I sort of made friends with them and chatting to them. And I said, look, I'll start the podcast up. Told them what it was about. And they both said they'd come on. And from there, it just sort of spurted out. And one of them, I made up the podcast channel. And there's a singer that I like, called Jack Curley. He's a Manchester-based singer, and there's another guy called Jamie T. He's a London-based singer. I put a story up saying if anyone can get me in touch with either of these guys, let me know. And Jack Curley popped up to me, and from there it just spurred on.
That's awesome.
I've now got verified Instagram followers, and I've got their phone numbers, and it's really good. I'm talking to a lot of famous people, a lot of verified YouTubers, a lot of actors, fighters, musicians, a lot of people. It's really good. A lot of famous people are seeing every story I put up, verified life coaches and stuff like that, inspiring people. We're all seeing everything I'm doing on Instagram. Yeah,
you're doing great. I mean, for just starting, I see you've got a lot of followers on YouTube, and I like your style. I think you're gonna enjoy this.
As I say, it's a very different concept of being in the lifts. I enjoy the talking to people. I enjoy hearing other people's POVs and stuff. And I sort of thought about it. Maybe it's not someone else's life that I need to change. Maybe it was my life that the podcast sort of about me sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of the way I was thinking about it as well.
It's so right. I think that I can tell you that's happened to me. It's more about like every podcast I do and every guest I engage with, I learn something. I learn something about myself, and like it opens my mind a bit more, and I have to like kind of grow up or deal with whatever. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's the process of podcasting. It pushes you.
Yeah,
So,
and as I say, doing it has made me sort of open myself up to a much more creative side, and I feel like my creative side really helps me. It helps me sort of deal with my emotions. I'm quite an emotional person. I follow after my mum quite a lot. Quite my mum's side of the family, they're quite emotional people, and I like to wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm quite a passionate person. I like to push things that I believe in, and it sort of just helped me deal a lot better with my emotions and stuff like that, and be able to write songs which I didn't know I could do, and help my mates in a way where they've helped me get through what I need to get through, and to be able to help them doing what they love is really good as well, and stuff like that. And it's just a lot. It's just good. It's just good. There's not really many other words for it.
yeah, that was beautiful. The way you described that.
Even just thinking about it just talking about it makes me smile.
Yeah. I can relate to your personality. I think I'm similar. I have a lot of passion and intensity, and it's good to channel it into something. Something productive.
Well, yeah.
You know,
it was either that or I was channeling it into it was all pent up just anger at points. It was just me getting really annoyed with myself and just being annoyed with the world, and now I can channel it into something good that's going to help someone. It makes me feel a lot better about myself and a lot better about because I always thought the world owed me something. Do you know? That's how I sort of looked at it. The world owed me something for all the shit that I've been through. Do you know what I mean? But the world don't owe me anything. It's me that owes the world something. You can do something good. People don't realise how much one person can do.
No, I guess it took me out of myself. Say, like you engage with you talk to somebody, and you can't ignore what they're saying. And if they're telling you something that you might not agree with going into it, and you hear why they have made these decisions or why they've done these things that you might not necessarily understand before, I've found that I usually can understand where they're coming from, why they have these beliefs, and have some respect for it instead of just, pushing it away and saying, oh, that's stupid or something like that. Like I've talked to anti-vax, I wouldn't call them anti-vaxxers because that's just a black and white label, but some people that cause, when you say the term, everybody's like, but it breaks down to they're human beings that have experienced something that's made them believe this way, and it's valid. Like I've had to like change my thinking, so.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's allowed their own POV. I mean, there's no right or wrong, and I'm a big believer in being able to voice your own opinion. I think that if you believe in something, then why are you not able to talk about it, and why not push it? I think that because if I know that there's something that I'm passionate about, as I say, I talk about it to everyone I meet. I push it to everyone I meet, and I don't stop. And if I really love it, sometimes there's been points in time where I've sat talking about something that I really love, and I've almost like teared myself up and stuff. I sort of believe in it so much, and it's nice that if you watch the first podcast with Dan, I was talking to him about it, and at one point I sort of explained what I wanted to do to him, and you could see a big smile go across my face, and you could hear my voice like the tremble, and I was almost in tears at one point. It's really sort of heartwarming, but it as I say, if you want to talk about something and you believe in something, then why not? Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
This is it.
Yep.
There's no one out there that should be stopping you thinking what you think. Do what you want.
Yeah, and it's therapeutic. That's very. My word. Yeah. Sounds so weird. Yeah, very. But it is. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got here, Patrick. Do you have anything else you want to give me your information so people can hear where to find you?
My Instagram is at Open Word of Mouth. It's very hard. Any likes, shares, follows, anything like that really help me out. It's on YouTube, on Spotify with the same name. Facebook's got the same name.
Okay, so the Open Podcast, Patrick Spencer.
Open Podcast 2020 at the moment,
Open Podcast 2020.
I am looking to change that to Open Podcast UK because I think 2020 is going to be a bit dated next year. I didn't really think about it too much when I did it.
Yeah, well, good luck to you.
So, yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Take care.
Cool. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Take care. See you later. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. That is a wrap. We are the Source Cannabinoids, tsctalks.com. I'm not going to let you get away without adding my 2 cents in here. Again, check out our new website. Order our forest bathing products, Sierra Nevada, guaranteed. Well, yeah, guaranteed. You want your money back, you try it, you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. Check it out. Also, stay tuned for a podcast series upcoming on the green nurses and their work in the cannabis industry, and more voices of oppression and marginalization within and without the systems of care upon which we depend, which is kind of our new mantra at TSC Talks. Thanks so much for tuning in. We love you.